everything has trends, even networking. That's right. Even relationship building has trends going on right now, especially coming out of the last 5 years. Things are shifting. The way we are building relationships has changed. Part of that is AI, part of that is technology, but some of it, you'll be surprised to learn, is the complete opposite. So today I'm gonna break down the 5 trends I've been seeing that can make you an effective networker in the coming year, or maybe years, hopefully, fingers crossed. I really like some of these trends. Welcome to Creating Opportunities, the podcast for professionals who know that building relationships isn't just a soft skill, it's a career advantage. I'm Cassandra Thompson, and every week we talk about how to better connect in our work lives. Whether you're leading a team, landing a client, or frankly, just feel disconnected in your day-to-day, this podcast is here to help. So interestingly, the last couple of weeks online, I have seen a lot of very known thought leaders in the business space or kind of celebrity entrepreneurs go back and talk about networking. So I feel like even networking in itself is becoming a trend. And the part I find really funny is some of these people, I remember in like 2019 or even 2021 going, I don't get coffee with anybody. Like, no, sorry, I don't even have time to text you back. If it's not about my business, then I'm not doing it. And I remember thinking, God, that's selfish. And now I have heard those same people that didn't have time to meet people in person unless it was to record a podcast, do whole episodes on why they are making relationship building the #1 priority for strategic success in their business. The older you get, you learn that pendulum really does swing back and forth. So interestingly, this isn't one of the 5, but I feel like networking in and of itself is trendy again. We are back to building relationships. We are back to having to actually talk to people, whether you own your own business or you're in a workplace. I just think all that we're hearing around loneliness and disconnection and isolation is pushing people to go, yes, I will make the effort. Let me talk to folks again. So that #1, not #1, it's not one of the 5, but that in itself is just really fascinating to me. But with it, as I hear people talking about, I'm really seeing overall old school is new school again. We are not talking about networking of Zoom rooms and AI doing everything. Don't worry, AI will be in one tip, but it would be weird not to. But it's back to old school relationship building. And so you're gonna see a lot of these tips are around old school principles becoming new school, which for me just warms and delights my heart. Okay, so what are the trends? Let's break them down. These are not in any particular order, but let's just say #5, in real life has made a comeback. I am so excited about this. This should be like #1, but whatever. When I say old school is new school, old school networking of meeting up in person is back in a myriad of ways. First, just overall, I am hearing people talk about how people miss connection. They want to be in person. I saw someone on LinkedIn the other day say that their on connection line was out the door because people couldn't wait to talk about this. I'm seeing conferences bounce back finally. Like they've been around, but there's been conferences that had events in 2021, 2022 that were kind of wah-wah, and then the last couple years have gotten bigger, and now we're seeing these kind of big name conferences return to what they once were, with lots of people showing up because they want to meet people. Then on the flip side, I'm seeing more business owners start creating their own, what I would call micro events. I'm not trying to diminish them, but they're not 6,000 people conferences. They're not 5 days long. They're 2 days. They're for women business owners or project managers or whatever it is. And they're more summits, or they might still call it a conference, but it's like 100 people, 200 people, maybe it's only 75 people, but you're in the right room with people who care about the same thing that you care about. And so I'm seeing a lot of those coming out, and a lot of people investing their money to go to those, to say, yeah, instead of the giant conference, I'm going to spend my money on 3 of these smaller conferences where I'm in the right room with specific people. So that's happening. And then the other thing, talking about group-wise in real life events, is what I like to call the large event, I need to find a better word than this, but it's essentially like the large event adjacent meetups. So Powerhouse Women was in town a couple of weeks ago, and that is an event that goes Friday night, Saturday day, and then depending on the ticket you bought, Sunday. Friday, pre-Friday night, I know of 3 different events going on in town that business owners here were like, hey, let's do a coffee meetup at a fancy hotel. I did go to that one. Another friend, Haley, hosts the table event, which is a bunch of women coming together, and there was, I think, a panel, or she spoke, and they got to network. I saw there was a third event people were going to, and then Sunday morning, there were people doing, a wealthy girl walk around town, and that was a great meetup, or people meeting for coffee. And those, I think, are great. And even if you are not a business owner and you are not doing that for your business, this is something to consider. I did this way back in the day in 2019 for Alt Summit. I put together a pre-summit brunch. I just, in the Facebook group said, hey, I want to try this restaurant. I would love to get, people together. It'll be at 10 a.m. How many of you want to go? And I think 20 people said they would come, and I went, okay, great. I'm making the reservation for 20. It's closed. I wasn't doing it to promote my business. I just wanted a more intimate way to get to know some people at the conference before it went huge. So even if you are, you're like, I'm not trying to run a business, but you're headed to your industry conference, and the idea of that room of 3,000 or 1,000 or whatever kind of intimidates you, can you put together a dinner the night before or a coffee meetup? And if that's more your speed, it's going to be helpful. Some of us do a lot better when we're in the host role, and so it gives you that chance to be the host and feel a little more in control of the networking. So it's something to consider. But yes, just these in real life events are back, and on the group level, big events in themselves are back, micro events are back, adjacent events are back. But then let's talk about on the one-on-one. Let's say you're like, I'm not going to any conferences. I don't do the event thing. Fine. I already kind of mentioned it. I'm hearing people who said, no, I don't have time for coffees, talk about, I took the afternoon and I had coffee with people. I've seen people now mention, I think I brought it up on an episode. I know I put in a LinkedIn post a couple of weeks ago. By the way, if you're not connected with me on LinkedIn or following, go follow. I share more over there. I saw someone talk about they now have a standing coffee time at a coffee shop by their house, and every week they invite a different person to come meet them at 9 a.m. or whatever, and have an hour to get to meet somebody. So I'm just seeing people be much more open to meeting in person, right? For a while there, it was like, even though we could go out again, people felt, it's just so much more efficient to be on Zoom. And it is. I am not saying I don't do Zoom calls. I did 2 yesterday. There is an efficiency to it, but I love that people are starting to see the benefit of, let me meet them in real life. Something different happens when we get to sit down together or take a walk together or whatever it is. It's different. And then the other version of this is I'm seeing more people do group events. And event isn't the right word. Okay, doing group hangs, shall we say. Because group event sounds like you made an Eventbrite and you're trying to promote something. There's somebody on LinkedIn who's all about books. I think his name's Alex. And when he goes to a city, he's pretty well connected. He knows a lot of very famous authors. He invites the authors in that town to go to dinner. All he does that he talks about it on social media is he takes a picture and said, I had dinner with these people. But to those authors, that's such a value add to say, hey, I would love to have dinner with you, but also you're going to meet 5 other people in your space. It's like, okay, that is more, hate to say it, but for a lot of us, it's like, that's more worth the time to going to dinner because I'm going to get to meet 5 people and not just one person, right? It's why I do my, it's got a horrible name, but like Biz Friends Lunch. It's not catchy at all. Somebody rebrand that for me. But it's just a chance for the people in my life that I want to keep up relationships with in the business realm. We get lunch together once a month. So it hits a bunch of people at once. And so I'm seeing that come back. And it's kind of funny that I'm even having to talk about that, because I think 10 years ago, maybe more, I think the trend was starting, but maybe 15 years ago, this would not be a trend. This would not be something I'd have to encourage people to do. This is just something people do. You go, hey, who wants to go get dinner on Saturday night? Or hey, who wants to meet for lunch on Thursday? And I think we all, because of events, isolated so much that now we really have to remember, like, oh yeah, I can meet with multiple people. Oh yeah, I can make a reservation somewhere and ask 5 people to join me. Easy. So there's that. Okay, so what this means for you. You don't have to do all the things I just listed, and oh my gosh, we are only on point 1. They're not all this robust. But first off, see if there's an event you can go to. Maybe it's a workshop in town. Maybe it is something, there's a conference you really want to go to. See if there's the professional development money to put towards it. Or can you invite someone to an actual in-person coffee or put together a group for lunch? One thing I will say, I think people sometimes forget when I talk about networking, that networking doesn't always mean meeting new people. It's also keeping up with people that you've already met that you genuinely like, because we're relationship building, right? Networking is relationship building, which means it's continuous. So who are a couple of people that you like that you haven't gotten to see in a while? Can you invite 3 of them to lunch? Can you invite 3 of them to coffee? Maybe they can't all make it, only one does. Great, have coffee with the one. Or maybe it's inviting a couple of coworkers, because building relationships internally is networking too. And saying, hey, let's go to lunch. All of those count. But think about ways that you can start getting back to in-person meetups. Number 4, analog touches are back. So remember, I said old school is new school. What I am finding really interesting is gifting and handwritten thank you notes are making a comeback. I'm hearing more and more people talking about them, and I think it's great because somewhere along the way, we have forgotten this. And I think there's a generation of people, actually 2 generations of people, who didn't learn this. So 2 great ways to keep in touch with people, because again, networking is ongoing relationship building. 2 great touch points are sending gifts and sending handwritten thank you notes. When you meet someone for coffee, sending them a thank you email is great. Did it last week. But if there's a way that you can send a handwritten thank you note, do it. If someone has you be a guest on their podcast, send a handwritten thank you note. Here is something that I'm going to talk about more soon because I've been thinking about it so much. Think of how much that note would stand out. Like just taking the little bit of extra time to write the handwritten note over the email. And I'll tell you, 95% of people don't even write the email. But if you don't even just write the email, you write the handwritten note, who do you think is going to stay top of mind? So I love that these old school techniques are coming back. So handwritten notes, but then also gifting. Okay. I have seen this with some of my entrepreneurial friends. I've realized, oh, they don't know gifting. And so I love that this is starting to get talked about again. Gifting is a great way to show gratitude and it leaves an impression, right? So both of these should always come, number 1, from a place of just care and appreciation, right? I think that's where we have a hard time, or where a lot of this got missed, is because we go, oh, but I also want them to keep me top of mind, and I also want them to refer me or become a client or whatever. So then we act like it can't have intents. It can't have a good intent of care and appreciation, but there's also this little selfish piece. As long as the care and appreciation is the most important part, it's okay that it also keeps you top of mind, leaves an extra impression, has a bigger impact. That's fine. So if someone does something nice for you, if someone refers a client, you need to go thank the person who referred. Some people have referral partnerships with payments. Other people send gifts. Now for my people in corporate, if someone refers you for a job, did you send that person a thank you? You should. People don't know this. I used to have to tell my grad students, your professors or your letters, the people who wrote your letters of recommendation for grad school, you need to send them a thank you gift. It will set you apart. Like, you need to do that. They took time out to write this letter for you. Send them a gift. So there are points where sending gifts just goes so much farther than just the thank you, and I'm hearing it making a comeback, and that makes me very, very happy. What I will say is, I saw on a post on LinkedIn, somebody was talking about gifting, and then, it was Jesse Itzler was talking about gifting, and somebody wrote in it, I totally agree with you, but this is really hard now because we don't have people's addresses, or even if we have the company address, they don't work from there, and it's creepy to ask somebody for their address, right? This is where I am totally okay with sending gift cards, e-gift cards. Does it have the same impact as opening up a box? Of course not, but that's okay. It's still the thought of, I appreciate you. And so sending Amazon, sending Target, sending Starbucks, those all count. One thing that's really cool, on Amazon right now, you can go on and hit something you can personalize. Let's say you don't know what their address is, but you want to get someone something personal. So I don't have it in front of me, but I have a different water bottle that has a desert scene on it. And I brought it with me when I spoke at an event in town. And the woman running the event commented on it. She was like, oh, that's so cute. And as a thank you for her inviting me to speak, and I earned a client from that event, I could go on Amazon, find that water bottle, and say, send this as gift, and put her email address in, not her home address, just put her email address. And it sends her a note saying, Cassandra gifted you this water bottle. And then it gives them the option of, if you don't want this, she can take the gift card amount. And I never know, but at least I can show I tried to send you something personal. So it's a very cool feature on Amazon. I highly recommend you checking that out. But analog tools, handwritten notes, gifting are back, and I'm in love. Next up, number 3, networking beyond the cocktail mixer. I am loving that we are finally breaking out of our shell on what networking in person means. So here's what I'm seeing a lot of. I am seeing walks. I already brought it up, but I'm seeing a lot of wealthy girl walks, or I've seen Christian girl walks. Men, you're allowed to walk too. I just saw an article in New York about how all the tech people aren't going to clubs after. Well, they are going to clubs, but they're going to running clubs, right? So people are doing different things to meet people now. I'm seeing a lot of groups that are doing activities around floral arranging or a paint and sip class, and you get to meet people at it instead of here's a mixer, here's your drink ticket, etc. Now, shameless plug, if you are a person with a mixer with a drink ticket, I would love to help you make that a much stronger event. I have a whole facilitated networking mixer called Small Talk to Big Opportunities. You can learn more about it right here. So many times people create networking mixers to go along with their event, and it's just you walk into a table, they hand you a name tag, they say, here's your drink ticket, and that's it. And we wonder why people struggle with networking. That's what these facilitated networking sessions solve. They solve that problem of what do people do once they've been handed that drink ticket and are told to go in that room. Through this session, Small Talk to Big Opportunities, we literally create opportunities for each other in the room, because that's what networking really is.
Meet some people that you haven't talked to yet. Networking is just building authentic relationships to create opportunities for all of us.
And I'm telling you, the value add for your attendees is through the roof, because what do people come to events for? They come to get educated, they come to get motivated, but they come for the people. They come for the connections and the hope that something else will come out of those connections made in the room. Because people want to help.
We are going to talk about how do you make those asks so that you can create more opportunities for yourself and other people.
That's it. It's so simple. So even that, the people who've brought me in to do that, they are looking to do something beyond, here's a drink ticket. They are looking to do something beyond a cocktail party. I've seen people do breath work. Even if you live in certain cities, you might be getting the ads for Base, which is a new social club. And they do dinners to meet new people, but they also do museum visits and hikes. I'm seeing a trend of finding ways to meet people up that is beyond the typical networking events. So what this means for you, what can you join in on that isn't a mixer? Even if it doesn't have to do with your work, can you find a workshop, a hiking club, maybe it's a bar Pilates class that you want to take, floral arranging? What can you do that is outside the typical to start meeting some people? Okay, number 2, we're finally going to talk about AI. AI is an excellent tool and a horrible boss. AI is showing up in networking, and it is showing up in good ways and bad ways. And so this could be a whole episode unto itself. We're going to just talk about it briefly. I think AI is awesome as an assistant in your networking, but I don't like it as the boss. Here's what I mean. I'm seeing AI show up as matchmaking tools for events. Great. Help consolidate that we have these things in common. Cool. I've seen it in online virtual matchmaking like Lunch Club. My CRM even uses AI to help figure out who I should follow up with next or help me find their email. Cool. Amazing assistant work from AI, right? Saving so much time to build relationships faster. But where it doesn't work is when I see people let AI take the reins and write all the emails and send the emails. And you just kind of glance over and go, yeah, send. And then I think I've shared this story before. I had AI help me write an email. I sent it, and then the email I got back was also clearly written by AI. And I'm like, cool, our bots just talk to each other. And from that MIT study that came out, when we use AI that much, we don't process what we did the same way, and it's ruining our ability to think, and with that, it's ruining our ability to remember. So to build a relationship with someone, you have to care about them. And if you are using AI for every step of the conversational process, you're never feeling care because you're never really reading it, writing it, responding, replying to what someone has shared with you. You're just hitting a button saying, yeah, send that. So you have no feeling attached to the person. So you have no emotion attached to the person. That is not what we want to use AI for. So can AI help you construct an email to someone and make it grammatically correct or have the right tone? Of course. But what I would encourage is keep AI as the passenger and you're the driver, which means write out the email you want to write out first, or the text message, or the phone message you're going to leave. Write it out first, say, this is what I'm thinking of saying, and then share it with AI. Don't let it do all of that for you. Now, one other way I've been using it as a passenger is I love the research feature on it. And before meeting with someone, I would normally go look them up and see everything about them and check their website and their LinkedIn and all those things. Now I just ask AI, hey, I'm meeting with this person, make me a one sheet on everything about them, and then I can just read that one sheet instead of having to look at all the places for myself. But then I do have to actually read it. I don't know about you. When AI makes something, we end up kind of skimming. Stop and actually read what it created for you. Okay, so last one. This is an overall trend that I am seeing, and it is, they all kind of weave together. I've already hinted at this. Networking is a long-term play. I love that when I'm hearing these thought leaders and entrepreneurial gurus and well-known people online talking about networking, they all seem to make a point of saying, you know, it is about relationship building, which means it is not one and done. Now, those are my ways of saying it, but they've all said some version of that, of it's building an ongoing relationship. And obviously, that's what I believe, and that's what I talk about here all the time, and that's what I speak on, but I want that message out there to as many people as possible so that networking is no longer a dirty word. So I love that these other folks are talking about it. So what that means for you, start thinking again about, great, what events can I go to meet people, but also who can I just go follow up with today? Who did I meet at a conference 6 months ago? What coworker from a different department have I not checked in on for a while? Go start building those relationships because we can deepen those, and that's just as important as going to those events and passing cards. That means nothing if we don't do anything with it, right? So I just love that this message is getting out there that yes, relationship building is what networking really is. So let me know, are you seeing this too? Or have you kind of noticed any other things around networking and relationship building in our professional lives? Feel free to leave a comment below. Or comment below with which thing you're gonna try. Let me know which of these you're gonna kind of try and focus on in the weeks ahead. With that, now stay tuned for next week, because next week we are gonna talk about one of the easiest ways to network with people. It's called the holidays. And it is the easiest if we plan early, and it is the hardest if we don't. So next week I will be here to give you all the holiday planning help. Thank you for tuning into the Creating Opportunities podcast. If you found this valuable, please hit subscribe wherever you're listening, and it would really help us out if you leave a quick review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And if you are watching this on YouTube, hi to my YouTube folks, please like and comment below. I do read every one, and it's small things like that that make a big difference in getting this show out there to more people who want to have better relationships in their work lives. So thank you for that, and I'll see you in the next one.